Usually at the top of the show, I like to come out and say some funny things. Wait, wrong show. Week 18 of the NFL is here. Yes, it went by so fast. What am I going to do now? The rest of my time. You know, I used to know about basketball, and I know very little about hockey. I know nothing about hockey. Hate to rain on your parade, but your parade got rained on. 137th annual Rose Parade was rained on. It was the first time in 20 years. Apparently the last time was in 2006. You could literally see the flowers growing right in front of you. You know, they get a little starved for water when they're stapled to your Volvo. Oh, this is rough. I've got nothing this week. 2026, now that it's here, lots of big sports events. Of course, you've got the Winter Olympics, the Milano Cortina, I believe it is, Olympics, yes. FIFA World Cup here in the United States, and Super Bowl 60, of course. You know, but the biggest event of all is gonna be WrestleMania 42. Told you, you see? Wrong show. It's the last week of the NFL. Oh my gosh. It went by really fast. I don't know about you guys, but it's amazing how fast it goes by. We've got that. We've got college football. We're going to do our pick six. We went 5-1 last week on our pick six, and also on the over-under 5-1. Wow, that's the first time that's happened. How did I do it? I don't know. But I tell you what, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about some major signings in the major leagues as well. But let's go ahead and do our pick six. As always, please hit that like button and the subscribe button before we get into that pick six, because you know, the more you know about this show, the more money you're able to win. That is, if you live in one of those states that allows for gambling. All right, let's do it. Okay, let's get into the pick six, my favorite part of the show. Again, we went 5-1 last week on the winners and 5-1 on the over-unders. I'm very thankful to have done that. Here we are, week 18 of the NFL, and we've got a couple of games on Saturday. And we've got I think it's 4 games on Sunday. Okay, let's start with Saturday. So the big Saturday games. The first one we're going to talk about is the one that is at 1:30 p.m. That's going to be the Panthers and the Buccaneers. Now, the Bucs are coming into this game 3-point favorites against the Panthers, but I don't think it's going to go that way. The over-under is 43.5. It's going to be under. 24-10, Panthers beat the Buccaneers. They win outright. You know, I just don't think the Buccaneers have what it takes to beat the Panthers, who are, you know, starting to put things together. You know, the Buccaneers, though, during the last 5 games, they're 1-4. That's not too good. The sad part about it for the Panthers is they really need to step it up on offense. But we're gonna go ahead and pick them 24-10. They win outright. Next on Saturday, you've got the 5 p.m. game, which is going to be the Seahawks at 49ers. A huge game. The Seahawks are the #1 seed in the NFC. If the 49ers beat them, that will not only shift the 49ers up, but it might help to shift up the Rams. Lots of playoff implications in this game. The Seahawks are 13-3. The Niners are 12-4. I think the Niners win in Santa Clara 38-30. It's going to be the over because they're giving us 47.5. The Seahawks are 1.5 point favorites in this game, which, you know, it's just a little strange to be a favorite against Brock Purdy. I'm picking the Niners. Next, I'm sorry about the coffee break. Next, we're going to go to Sunday. We'll go ahead and go to Sunday. Let's do the 10 a.m. games. So, usually, again, we like to pick games where both teams have winning records. There's not very many games this week where both teams have winning records. And so we're going to pick one where both teams have a losing record. How's that? All right. Only because I love the Giants. I've been following them all year. You know, Jackson Dart, it's an amazing story if you're really following it. Had they done better in the standings this year, I think you would have heard a lot more about Jackson Dart there. The Giants are 3-13. The Cowboys are 7-8-1. You know, Dax is going to start, but the Cowboys defense has just been abysmal as of late. So I'm going to go with Giants beating them 24-18. It's the under because they're giving us 49.5 points on that one. Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites, but I'm just picking the Giants. They're going to win outright. All right. The next game that is on Sunday, 10 a.m. is the big one. Packers at Vikings. Boy, oh boy, the North Division just has big game after big game. But now we're down to these teams because the Lions are out. The Packers have been a good team, a solid team all year. You know, I like the Packers. I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. But the Vikings are going to beat them 26-23. The Vikings are 8-8. They couldn't get a winning record with a win here. They're not going to cover, though. It's a 3-point victory, and that is the over. They're giving us 35.5. Vikings over the Packers 26-23. You know, the Vikings are stout on defense. That's what I think. You know, you really can't get a whole lot of yardage against or points for that matter against that Viking defense. So we'll see how that plays out in the playoffs here. Okay, next we've got the 1:35 p.m. game on Sunday, which is available on Hulu and Paramount. This is the Chargers at Broncos at Mile High. You know, the Chargers are 12.5-point favorites. That's a big red flag. Why are they so favored to beat the Broncos? Broncos are 13-3. The over-under is 37.5, but I'm going to pick the Chargers to win. They're just not going to cover. They're going to win by 4 points. Yeah, it's the end of the season. A lot of people are tired. They might be resting people. Broncos, I don't think they're going to score more than 16 points in this game. 20-16 Chargers over the Broncos. Next we've got Sunday at 1:30. No, we already did that one. I don't know what time this game is on. It's the Ravens-Steelers game. And this is going to be a big game too, by the way. The Ravens are trying to get a winning record, and the Steelers are trying to get double digits on their win column. Ravens, Steelers. Not to mention that Aaron Rodgers would love to get back into the conversation for the AFC. Let's see. It's on at 5:20 p.m. That's the evening game. Ravens at Steelers. They're giving us 40.5 points on this one. The Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. I don't think they're going to win. I think the Steelers win outright. You know, it's weird for the Steelers to be underdogs against the Ravens at home, by the way. The Steelers are at home. 26-17, Steelers over the Ravens. And that covers it for our Pick 6 this week. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you've been following us all year, you know that we have a winning record here. Bet with us, and you're likely not to go wrong. Also, as always, please gamble responsibly, and thanks. A couple of unofficial picks for the college football playoffs. I mean, look, last time Oregon and Indiana faced, they faced in Eugene, in Oregon. Now they're facing in Indiana, which is altogether an amazing turnabout. I'm still going to pick the Hoosiers. You know what I'm thankful for during this new year? That it's very easy to turn a 5 into a 6. You know, when you write 2025, you can just loop it around and you've got a 6 there. Thank you guys for sticking with me. We're just going to talk a little bit about football and the college bowls, the college football playoffs, which are going on right now. And we're going to talk about baseball signings because there's been a couple of big signings in baseball, a number of them. The Vikings-Packers game. Boy, this is a weird thing that the Vikings-Packers game holds implications in the AFC. But of course, I guess that's because of who the Vikings and Packers might have beaten or lost to. AFC implications. Boy, don't you love Google? You can just type in 3 words and bam, it knows what's going on. Let's see. The result could impact complex tiebreaker scenarios in the AFC. Specifically, the outcome affects the strength of victory tiebreaker for teams vying for a wildcard spot. Strength of victory is calculated by the combined winning percentage of all teams a team has defeated. So a Green Bay win would lower the win percentage of their defeated opponents, which might hurt a team like the Los Angeles Chargers, and help the Jacksonville Jaguars in a specific 3-way tie scenario. Interesting. A Minnesota win would boost the win percentage of their defeated opponents, which would help the Los Angeles Chargers in that same scenario. Wow, so if Minnesota wins, that would help the Chargers. If the Packers win, that would hurt the Chargers. How do you feel about that, Chargers? Boy, that's strange. The only bearing it has on the postseason, that game, in the AFC, that's just strange. You know, the postseason always offers, or towards the end of the postseason, the end of the season, it offers a lot of strange scenarios, and it's always been that way with football. Very exciting. This season's been wacky, right? I mean, it's been the craziest season I think I've ever seen, except for last season, and that was the craziest before the season before that. I mean, it's just getting crazier out there, which is why I love watching football. Getting a message here or something? I don't know. We're going to have to wrap it up pretty soon, but we're going to talk about baseball first. I am looking forward to the Winter Olympics, the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. I'm a huge fan of figure skating. The movie I, Tonya, one of my favorites, starring Margot Robbie. Okay, so let's talk about baseball. My notes are finished. The White Sox managed to sign that big slugger from Japan. White Sox sign slugger. All of my devices are running out of juice. This is great. Okay, Murakami agrees to a 2-year, $34 million deal with the White Sox. You know, this is going to be big. I think this is going to be big. Now, the Houston Astros signed Imai, I believe his name was. Hold on. Imai. Tatsuya Imai, big-time pitcher from Japan, signs, I believe he played with the Lions over in Japan. He signs with the Houston Astros. Oh, no. But I tell you, the Dodgers still have a tough team. They just signed Edwin, what was his name? Hold on. Signed Edwin Diaz, yes. 3 years, $69 million. Must be nice. Yeah. And promising KBO utility player Hyesung Kim. Oh, yeah. Pitching fit. Look, I'm just becoming a homer at this point. I'm sorry. I'm getting into my Dodger bag, so to speak. It's like when you're almost at the finish line and you're just stumbling, you fall down, hit your face. That's me. All right, so yeah, I am looking forward to a few sports events this year. It's going to be fun. FIFA World Cup, of course, always brings out huge crowds here in America. Lots of fans of soccer. Wasn't that way when I was a kid. At least I don't remember it, but now it is. Week 18, I can't believe it. This is how we'll wrap up the show. I know you've been waiting for that. So you can hear the motorcycles outside. This is a wonderful sound stage, except it's not so sound. Old joke, but I stole it from myself. Yeah, so big signings in baseball, but again, the season went by so fast. I mean, it's amazing that it's over. I believe that's what we were talking about. The motorcycle distracted me, and I'm getting older. I don't remember what we were talking about, or what I was talking about. I'll just let you talk. That's rather interesting. Yeah. No, I don't think so. No. All right. You guys take care of yourselves. We're going to go ahead and call it a show. It's been an amazing beginning of the year. Having fun, working hard, getting it done. I hope you guys are doing the same. Maybe this year we can clean things up a little bit, get things a little more tidied up in this office. What do you think?